before I came to Linc, well, up to a few months after I came to Linc University, I was a member of Youth Parliament, of the UK Youth Parliament. And when I came to Linc, I thought, coming here to start, I thought, after 4 years of being in Youth Parliament, so then going through all my GCSE and A-levels trying to do politics, I thought, my university, I'm not going to get involved in politics whatsoever. I'm going to take a break from being politically active and just get on with my studies. But what shocked me most was in my first year and in my second year that I knew nothing about the Students' Union. The elections back when it came and went, and I knew nothing about it. And I've always stuck by the rule of thumb that there's no use grumbling. If you're not going to be bothered to do it, who is? So I thought, well, I'll just go into the elections just to try and make it a bit more colourful, just to make. I didn't care whether I was going to be elected or not. I just thought, well, just make people aware of the elections. And in the last 12 months or so, I thought, well, why don't you go out and do it and see if you can do something. So I had my time in Youth Parliament and I ran for City Council last year and running for City Council again this year. And I thought, well, why not give it a go and see if you can actually get on and do it. So I stood for by-elections last October to be a part-time officer, and it's actually been quite useful because I've now up the main issue elections last month. I had the sort of side where I could see where the issue was doing wrong as being a student, being a newcomer, I hadn't seen. And over the last few months, I've been able to see what the issue has been doing, because as you know, it's had a new constitution. It's changed from a co-op to being a typical students' union. And so really over the last 12 months, the issue has been focused internally on making sure it's got its structures set up. And one of these structures was the Students' Council, which was a fantastic idea. I'm surprised the university didn't come up with earlier, or so that's great. So they've been sorting out the structures, so I'm hoping that with everything in place now, the SUT, not just myself, but all the other sabbatical officers and the part-time officers will be able to look out and actually get students to be involved in the SUN. It can be anything from setting up societies to making societies making people feel they can actually set up societies, to enabling students to realise that unless they complain, nothing's going to be done. Trouble is, out of that 2,200 people that voted, only 500 odd voted in all the categories. So no doubt it's a lot of people voting for their friends or voting for a particular position. And of course, the presidency again got the highest number of votes for that area, which is 1,074. And it's never a good thing to have a poor turnout. I mean, even in city council elections, turnout's about 25%. And in university, students have 2 votes. They can vote at home, and they have a secondary vote where they can vote in their university city. But how many of them know that? And it's always awful when people in any democracy don't use their vote, even if it's just to support the ballot paper. Because at least by doing that, that's voting is the most basic form of democracy. It's the most basic form of participation in democracy. And so to have only, in the first preference votes, I just had over 49% of first preference votes. But like you said, that was only about a percent or 2 of the student population, and that's never a good thing. It's unhealthy. To judge people by their looks is the worst form to ever do. It is simple. To an extent, you could say a person can't do their job because they're black, white, gay, heterosexual. To judge by looks, to basically judge a book by its cover, is something which is totally wrong. It should be down to the person's ability and the policy set out with. And that's the thing. I mean, I looked on the I looked at our article about that. I thought it was fantastic. I mean, it did pick up an area which was well worth discussing. And was it perhaps my dress sense that got me votes? Well, I hope it wasn't, because if people thought I was a joke, perhaps not. But there were other comments on it saying, and such on my Facebook group, and other comments I got saying, I admire the way you dress, not because I love your clothes, but because you've got the guts to do what you like. And if you've got the guts to do that, then you've got the guts to fight for us. So that's the other way. I just don't like wearing hoodies. That's just a person saying, like, reason I just don't like trainers. As far as I'm concerned, it's no big deal, and more to the point, in the job description, there was nothing about uniform. People said, well, you should wear a hoodie, but there's quite a few people saying, well, why should you? You've been here for years now, and it's quite obvious you'd never wear a hoodie.